Thoughts are not always facts. One of the most practical lessons in Buddhism is the understanding that our thoughts are not always the truth. The mind can be active and restless, often moving quickly from one idea to another. It creates stories shaped by past experiences, insecurities, and fears. Because of this, many of the thoughts we experience are more like habits than facts. When we face difficulties in life, these thoughts can become even louder. We may hear inner voices saying, "I am not capable," or "this situation will never improve." But just because a thought appears in the mind does not mean it reflects reality. Thoughts are like passing clouds in the sky, sometimes heavy and dark, other times light and scattered. None of them stay forever, and none of them represent the sky itself. In the same way, our true nature is not defined by every passing thought. Buddhism encourages us to step back and observe thoughts with gentle awareness, instead of reacting to each one. This practice is often called mindfulness. Imagine sitting beside a flowing river. The water represents your thoughts constantly moving, but you don't have to jump in. You can remain still on the riverbank, simply noticing what passes by. With practice, we learn to recognize that thoughts come and go on their own. By not attaching to them, we reduce their power over us. This gentle awareness allows us to create space for peace, clarity, and wiser choices in daily life. 2. The power of the present moment. Major source of stress in life comes from leaving the present and getting lost in thoughts about the future. The mind often imagines situations that may or may not happen, and these imagined scenarios create feelings of worry or fear. For example, you might find yourself thinking, "What if things go wrong?" Or "What if I'm not prepared?" These questions are not about what is happening now, but about what might happen later. Buddhism teaches that the future does not yet exist. It is simply a projection created by the mind. The only reality we truly experience is the present moment, the breath we are taking, the space we are in, and the life that is unfolding right now. When we bring attention back to this moment, we often realize that we are safe and capable of taking the next step. Practical methods help anchor us in the present. Mindful breathing is one of the simplest practices. By noticing the rhythm of your breath, you return to what is real. You can also bring awareness to your surroundings, sounds, textures, or even the feeling of your feet on the ground. These small acts gently remind the mind to stay here instead of wandering into imagined futures. By practicing presence, we create a calmer inner state. We no longer need to solve everything at once. Instead, we take one breath, one step, and one choice at a time. This is where clarity and peace naturally arise. 3. Focus on what you can control. Much of our stress comes from the desire to control everything around us. We want events to unfold according to our expectations, people to act in certain ways, and outcomes to match our plans. Yet, life rarely moves in perfect alignment with what we imagine. Circumstances shift, people change, and challenges arise without warning. When things do not go as expected, it is easy to feel disappointed or unsettled. Buddhism teaches that this constant need for control can become a source of suffering. The truth is, many aspects of life are beyond our influence. Trying to manage them only creates frustration. Instead of placing energy into what we cannot control, the practice encourages us to focus on what we can. What we can control is our response. We can choose how to breathe in a difficult moment, how to communicate with others, and how to guide our mindset. We may not be able to stop a challenge from appearing, but we can decide whether to meet it with calm awareness or with agitation. This shift does not mean giving up effort. It means putting effort where it is most effective, on our own actions, choices, and state of mind. For example, when a plan changes suddenly rather than resisting, we can pause, breathe, and adjust. By focusing on inner steadiness instead of outer outcomes, we discover a sense of balance. In this way, peace arises not from controlling the world, but from guiding ourselves wisely. 4 lessons hidden in difficult times. When looking back on life, it is natural to remember moments that felt painful or challenging, times of loss, disappointment, or personal struggle. In those periods, it may have seemed as if nothing good could come from the experience. Yet, Buddhism reminds us that even the most difficult days carry lessons that shape who we become. Struggles often act like the soil in which growth begins. Just as a seed pushes through heavy earth to reach the light, people grow stronger when they move through hardship. The weight of difficulties may feel heavy at first, but with time they help develop resilience, patience, and understanding. Without challenges, many of the qualities we value most, such as compassion and wisdom, might never have taken root. During hard times, we are given the chance to see our own capacity to heal. When we face grief, fear, or uncertainty, we learn that we can still make choices, to breathe, to continue, and to keep moving forward. These choices may seem small, but they build strength over time. Buddhism describes this process as transforming suffering into understanding. Each difficulty becomes a teacher, offering lessons in humility, patience, and gratitude. Painful experiences also allow us to connect more deeply with others, since we know what it feels like to struggle and can extend kindness to those in similar situations. Instead of rejecting the past, we can accept it as part of the journey. In doing so, we honor the growth that challenges have given us and move forward with greater clarity. 5. Choosing when to respond in daily life, challenges often appear in the form of disagreements, setbacks, or moments of frustration. The natural response is to react quickly, whether through words, emotions, or actions. However, Buddhism teaches that not every situation requires an immediate reaction. When we respond without reflection, we often add unnecessary tension to ourselves and to those around us. Think of the mind as a calm lake. When something small disturbs it, a harsh word, a sudden problem, it creates ripples. If the lake is already unsettled, the ripples turn into waves. But if the lake is steady, the ripples fade away naturally. In the same way, a calm mind allows disturbances to pass without turning into larger conflicts. This practice does not mean ignoring problems or being passive. Instead, it means creating a pause between what happens and how we choose to act. By taking a breath, noticing emotions, and giving ourselves space, we can select a response that is thoughtful rather than impulsive. For example, when criticized, the first urge may be to defend or argue. If we pause, however, we may see that the words reflect the other person's struggles more than our own. The same applies to daily inconveniences, like waiting in a long line or dealing with small mistakes. By not reacting strongly, we preserve our energy for what truly matters. Over time, this habit builds resilience. It shows that peace is not found by controlling everything around us, but by choosing wisely how we respond.